My name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today I'm going to share my experience of watching Living Colour playing live in 2024. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Tell me if you had the chance to see them already or not. Well, let's start. Living Colour was formed, if you don't know the band, it was formed in 1984 in New York City. They were active until 1995, and they entered a hiatus. They broke up, and they returned in 2000. Since then, they're active. The lineup's the same since 1992, and they're known for albums like Vivid and Time's Up. If you haven't heard them yet, you should check it out. But nowadays, the band's lineup has Vernon Reid on guitar, Corey Glover on vocals, Will Calhoun on drums, and Wimbish on bass. And I had the chance to see them in a small club here in Brazil where I live. And they played 15 songs, and I'm counting a medley as a song. And this is the set list as you can see. There were 6 songs from Vivid, which is probably their most famous album, 5 from Stain, 2 from Kaleidoscope, and 2 from Time's Up, besides one medley that I'm going to explain a little bit further. The first song was Leave It Alone, then they played Desperate People, Ignorance is Bliss, By, Auslander, Never Satisfied, Funny Vibe, Sacred Ground, Open Letter to a Landlord. And I want to stop here in Open Letter to a Landlord to praise Corey Glover, because, I mean, he's certainly one of the greatest singers I ever saw live in my life, for sure, because, I mean, he was always pushing his voice to the limit. He was improvising a lot. Many times he were extending the songs, and you could see it in the band's face. When he was doing his thing, you know, he was in his little world and extending a few songs, creating something different that was not on the record originally, and you know, it made the show more special. And he did this in Open Letter to a Landlord. There was a really beautiful introduction of him, you know, almost reciting the lyrics of the song, and then the song started. You know, it served as an intro, and it was really beautiful. It was just incredible what he did. You know, it was a unique moment for sure, especially on the song. And then Will Calhoun made an incredible drum solo, and I think he's another incredible drummer, certainly quite underrated. And you know, you can see all the incredible influences from all different types of music in his playing, and he showed that in his drum solo. They played Flying, which is a beautiful track as well. And then they started the medley, which had Apache and The Message. Apache is from the Sugar Hill Gang, and The Message from Grandmaster Flash. And the interesting thing is that Wimbish, the bassist, worked as a session bassist, you know, most of his life. Before joining Living Colour, he replaced the band's main original bassist, Mus Killings, in 1992 when he decided to leave the band. And you know, and they played a posh, and the message not because it were songs that influenced them, but because Doug played on those songs as a session bassist. He worked with Sugar Hill Gang and the Grandmaster Flash in the studio, and he over his career he played with the Rolling Stones, and I even got a list here: the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, Depeche Mode, James Brown, Annie Lennox, Tarja Turunen, and many other artists he had the chance to work with on the studio and on record. He was a session musician, and it was a beautiful moment, you know. Songs are great and really set the mood for the next song, which was Glamour Boys. Certainly one of my favorites from the band. Such a happy song with a happy vibe. It's a great track, and it was really a special moment. And of course, it started to it was when they started to play really the big hits of their career. Comes the beautiful ballad Love Rears Its Ugly Head, and that really is a slow song, and then they play Time's Up, which is almost a punk rock track, and then it comes obviously the biggest hit, Cult of Personality, which is one of the greatest, certainly one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time. It's just incredible. And sadly, the thing I didn't like is because they cut the set list a little bit short. I was really seeing what their set list was like in their previous shows. And another famous song they would play that night would be Type. But they decided not to play that track that night, so I was a little bit upset with that. And they ended up with a small snippet of What's Your Favorite Color. And, you know, the interesting things that, and talking about Corey Glover, that I'm going to say a few things about watching the band. It's that, you know, I praise Corey Glover, I praise the Wimbish, Will Calhoun, and I gotta mention especially Vernon Reid. I mean, Vernon is just, for me, a mixture of Jimi Hendrix with Eddie Van Halen, man. You know, I don't think I have seen, you know, that up close, because I was in front of the stage, such an incredible guitarist like him. You know, he's in a trance when he's playing. it looks like he's not there, and it looks like he's channeling something, and it's really why I say Jimi Hendrix, because everybody from all the people who had the chance to see Hendrix live, they said, and also Stevie Ray Vaughan, for example, they say that they seem to be like an open channel, receiving music and playing. It was not like they were consciously playing and thinking about what they would play next. Some guitarists need to stop and think about how they're going to continue that or not. But he doesn't stop. And you look at his face, he's just channeling. It looks like he's in a trance. And what a guitar tone, what an incredible technique he has. And it's just mind-blowing to see Vernon Reid playing live and that close to you. I mean, you feel the energy, you feel how an incredible guitarist he is. And many times during the concert, you can see the band looking at him, and especially Corey Glover looking at him and really, saying, oh, what he's thinking. He's impressed with what Vernon's doing. And it's just, it's a wonderful experience. Why I say that, because how I would define Living Color by seeing them live, and this was the first time I saw them live, they're like a super group. They're a super group. When I understand now this definition, when you look at the stage and you see, in this case, 4 members of a band, and all those 4 members of a band are at the top of their game. They're one of the greatest in what they do. Will Calhoun is an incredible drummer, Vernon Reid, an incredible guitarist, Corey Glover, an incredible singer, and Wimbish, an incredible bassist. And you look around and you see everybody on fire. It felt like I was watching a super group. And although they're not a super group in terms of like Cream was, that they had a successful career before, or the Traveling Wilburys with George Harrison, Bob Dylan, etc., they achieved fame with Living Color, the 3 classic ones. Obviously Doug Wimbish was a very successful session bass player before, but it looks like, you feel like you're watching a supergroup because they're so good and they're really on the top of their game. And I mean, Corey Glover is the youngest one, who is almost 60. The other ones already are in their 60s, but it doesn't look like. It looks like they're in their 30s and they're playing. It's just a mind-blowing experience to see Living Color live. And if you never had the chance and they're coming to your city, man, you should definitely check it. Should definitely check them out. And many of these songs, the experience of hearing them live, it's totally different, and it's just an incredible experience. Funny thing, one thing I learned at this show is that don't stay on your phone. And I mean that before the concert, even before the concert, because I got there a little earlier. There was an opening band, which is an incredible Brazilian band called Black Pantera. They sing in Portuguese, but you know their sound is amazing. You should check them out if you have the curiosity for it. But I got there a little early. It was in a small club, and most of the people were at the back of the club drinking, and I was in the front of the stage with a few other people who were there, and I was just looking down, you know, typing on my phone, posting an Instagram story about the show. And when I see someone passing by, and I look to my right, and it was Corey. He walked past me, and you know, I was just starstruck, and I couldn't believe I was on the fucking phone when he walked right in front of me. And I just was looking to the other people, and the other people were looking too, and you know, everybody was starstruck. He just walked past by to go to the stage, you know. He walked past by us, and everybody was just, you know, really impressed that he was there, you know, and nobody could believe that. So next time, don't stay at the phone even before the show. Anyway, it was an incredible concert. Certainly one of the greatest bands I saw live in my life, and I totally think, you know, if you have the chance, go and watch Living Colour. They're probably one of the most underrated bands from the past 4 decades, and they deserve more recognition than they have. And that's it. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave your comment. Tell me if you had the chance to see Living Colour live at a moment in your life. And don't forget to visit rockandrollgarage.com. Okay? Thank you for watching, and see you later.